What up? This is Drew Patrick back with another Q&A. We got a question from Matt Logan, and he's asking about what muscle growth has to do with max strength. Well, Matt, you can't lift with bone. You cannot lift with your my facial hair. Like I can't. This is a pretty mean goatee, but I can't lift with it. It's not going to lift any weights for me. My bones, they're probably pretty dense and pretty thick and very strong, but I can't lift anything with them. What allows my bones to lift these huge weights are my muscles. Now, you basically say, why have all this muscle? It's like, it's all about max strength. Well, the thing is that you develop muscle trying to get to maximum strength. Unless you're just extremely small and you stay that way the entire time and you're a small weight class and a low weight class, then your time is spent more on skill and developing a skill and lifting the weight and doing those things. Now, I mean, that can happen. And then you see these guys in the Olympics that are cleaning incredible amounts of weight overhead, and they're tiny. They're not wrestlers very strong, but they're so skilled. That is a skill movement, and everything is a skill movement. It's getting the most out of your body in that movement, and that whether it be a squat or a clean and jerk, or a deadlift or whatever it may be. You're performing, and most people think you're just grabbing and lifting the weight, but you're not. So let's say you're 132 pounds. That's how you compete. Well, you don't really got to worry about that much muscle building. You want to pack on as much muscle as you can in those 130 pounds. But you don't have to, go nuts over it. You want to have as much as you can. And that's it. The same thing with any other weight class. Why would I want more muscle than less muscle, especially for max efforts? Well, I mean, there's 3 lifts in powerlifting. And the more muscle I have, the more chance I'm going to have to lift a bigger weight, and probably I'm going to have power endurance, which a lot of people don't talk about. And power endurance is the ability to display your power multiple times in a row. Now, I've seen a lot of lifters, and a lot of them don't seem to have that power endurance. They seem to be able to hit one big weight, one big lift, and they shot their wad. So the more that I train, the more muscle I put on, the more I gain, the more I seem to be able to do a single and a double and a triple with these huge weights. And that's just the way it worked for me. So it's the same thing with my accessory work. It's also, having more muscle keeps you from getting injured because you're harder to hurt, quite frankly. If you have these giant shoulders, you might not, be able to really damage that well. Like the same thing, you ask anyone what I've ever trained with, I'm really difficult to hurt, really hard to get injured, and if it's an injury, I usually shrug it off pretty fast. I, think that's because I have a lot of thick muscle, a lot of thick tendons, a lot of, just really hard, dense tissue around my body. And it helps. It helps in the long run. It helps, me to avoid injury. So that's the whole thing. That's why you build muscle as well, as to not just go and you lift for max weights. But it was a very good question, and I keep them coming. Stay tuned, Drew Believers. There'll be more fun stuff to come. Peace out.